Hey, 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 Pajama Gramma, Horne-Ellstrom here with today's chronic painkillers prescription. And today's chronic painkillers prescription, for those of you experiencing chronic pain, I am just sharing some of the things that I've learned and discovered and uncovered over the last 37 years as a chronic illness and chronic pain patient with you in the hopes that you will see if it can positively impact your experience with chronic pain. My objective is to help you kill your chronic pain and to take back your life. Reclaim the life that you're meant to be living, not the one that you might be experiencing right now, feeling like you're stuck and that there's no place to go and nowhere to turn. And that's why I'm sharing these. Today's painkillers prescription is universal consciousness. Now, this is kind of a woo-woo big concept. At least it was for me when I first heard about it. I didn't know what universal consciousness was. I am an engineer and a science and math geek by education and experience and profession. So following my sudden cardiac arrest, I started to go on this journey, and I'd been on it a little bit prior with respect to personal development and things, but following that event, I really went full force into trying to figure out and understand how the world and the universe, and especially we human beings, work, because I didn't understand how on earth I could have this sudden cardiac arrest death event and still be here to talk about it. And I needed to, for me, to try to figure out and try to understand what the heck it meant, and not what it meant for the world, but what it meant for me. And as part of that journey, I uncovered something that is the concept or the belief or it's probably true, let's think about it, concept of universal consciousness, that we're all connected, we're all one, and we're all of one energetic mind or consciousness, which some people call this God. Some people think God is universal consciousness. I don't know. I'm not going to get into a debate about that. I just know that there is some energetic force that exists in the universe that connects all of our, not our conscious minds, but our subconscious minds. There is something that is directing everything. And I like to think of that as the universal consciousness. Excuse my throat. So what does that mean for me? If there is indeed this universal consciousness that we all have the ability to tap into, how can I use that to reduce my chronic pain? How can I tap into that to reduce my chronic pain? Now, there's lots of theories around universal consciousness, that a small number of us can affect the whole, and I think we see that in the way the world works. I think that a very small number of people control a lot of things in this world, and just on this planet, but in this world, a lot of things are controlled by a very small number of people. But each and every one of us have the ability to choose not to participate in that. So even though a small amount of people can control a lot of things in the world, it doesn't mean I as an individual have to be controlled by them. I can choose not to be controlled by the news and the media, by not watching it, not listening to it, turning it off. And I made that decision for myself in my early 20s. Actually, I was almost 30, but it was in my early 20s when I was working for Procter & Gamble. I was in a training program, and the trainer challenged us to turn off the news for a week and not watch the news for a week. And after that week, I felt so much better that I never turned the news on again. Okay, except for 9/11. 9/11, I listened to the news. But otherwise, for the most part, I don't listen to the news. And people are like, well, how can you know what's going on in the world for current events? Well, if I really want to know what's going on in the world for current events, I will look it up, and I will look into a specific thing, but I also will look into it from other sources, because you can't watch a news program and believe or think that that is reality or true. It's just one version, and usually one very twisted version of events. And to me, I don't ever want my brain to be washed by one other entity's version of events, because the way that the news media portrays things is for their agenda, not for my best interest. So I use universal consciousness to my benefit. I use it to tap into and model what's working in the world, not what's not working in the world. And you can use it both ways. lots of people use universal consciousness to tap into, to get other advantages, but I use it to tap into opening up my mind to what else is possible for me to kill my chronic pain. What else is possible to help me live my dreams. And it gives me a feeling of, and a sense of security to know that I'm not alone, and that any way or anything or that I'm possibly thinking about, somebody else out there is thinking the exact same thing at the same time. Heck, there's over 7 billion people on this planet. How silly would it be for me to think that I am unique and special, but that I'm so unique and special that no one on the planet has ever thought of or has ever felt the same way I do? That would be pretty silly. So universal consciousness can help me in a lot of ways, but I like to use it to tap into the fact that I'm not alone, the fact that other people are thinking and feeling and experiencing what I am, and they're living through it and making it through it, and if they're making their lives work with it, then I can too. So that's it. Do a little research if you've never come across the concept of universal consciousness, or if you do know way more about it than I do, tap into that baby, tap into that consciousness for your benefit, to help you kill your chronic pain and live the life you deserve. I'll see you again soon with another Painkillers prescription. Have an awesome day. Bye. Pajama Gramma out.